needless to say, we all need it. Music, that would be. We all need music. There's not a culture in the world that doesn't use it, from the United States, the most powerful country in the world, and every other developed country, to third world cultures to fourth world cultures. I mean, they played water in New Guinea, literally, like this. We need music. We all require it. There's not a soul among 7 billion that doesn't find music important. And then when you come to the question of education, they've done studies for 20 years, and it begs many more questions we really don't have time for right now. Why they keep cutting music education in schools, etc. So, finding an opportunity to give money to a scholarship for kids that have already shown musical talent and don't have the means within their family to pay for ongoing lessons, which they need because the school doesn't provide. I jumped on that opportunity, and I've done it before. But they've shown over and over again the value of music education. They're better at math, they're better at science, their cognitive skills are better, their analytical reasoning is better. More music majors in college who end up not becoming musicians and decide to do something like, I think I'll become a doctor, become medical students than pre-med students. I'll say it again. More music majors become doctors than pre-med students. How many people I've met in decades of this that were mathematicians and lawyers and doctors and brain surgeons, literally, who understood the science of music right off the bat. And how many students I've had over the years, I've lost count, that had learning disabilities that could get around them through studying music, because it uses the entire brain. Nothing short of being alive uses the entire brain the way that music does. And it gets around the bad triggers, I like using the quotes, sorry, where they just, my kid's ADD, I didn't notice because, here he is playing jazz on the guitar like it's no big deal. It gets around things. It makes people more intelligent. I won't go further than that, because that in itself is a lecture of which I've given plenty. So that is the motivation for giving giving money to music scholarships. I could give it to any free clinic I expect, but I live in the Chippewa Valley, and the Chippewa Valley Free Clinic brought to me the best health care I've had in my life. From day one, I've had health problems. And, I was in Chicago. You'd think, I go to all the great hospitals in Chicago, University of Chicago Hospital, Masonic, whatever. They couldn't keep my health under control. And I come to the small town of Eau Claire, the size of the town that I was born in, outside Chicago, and I found the free clinic. When I played a fundraiser, I was simply asked within weeks of the time I got here, could you play at this benefit for the free clinic? Oh, sure. And I did. And I mentioned in the process of playing, in between songs, obviously, that I could really use some, good health care. And they said, well, no, it's not just for the homeless or whatever, it's for anybody who's uninsured, that doesn't make enough money to afford hundreds of dollars a month in insurance that will not cover pre-existing conditions, of which I have plenty. And so I went by there, and holy smokes, And then I was walking around with pain in my hip for a long time.
ended up being about a year and a half, 2 years, all said and done. Nobody could figure out what was wrong, and the free clinic diagnosed that I had necrosis, avascular necrosis. My hip was dying, basically. A side effect of medications I've been on since I was 9. And my hip was popcorn, basically. And
then they sent me to Mayo. I got my hip replacement, went great. I recovered quite well. And being
a musician with a fluctuating income, I'm thrilled if I can pay my rent, if I can eat, if I can, produce, an album as an independent musician, of which there are, a whole lot. And to say nothing of getting my medication and getting, hip surgery, that was completely covered through assistance through the Mayo Clinic. The only way I can give back is to raise funds for the things that matter to me. And I encourage other people to do the same. I can't write a check to the Red Cross. I can't write a check to the Free Clinic. I can't write a check to the Eau Claire Music School for their scholarship program, which some of this money is going to.
Because I don't know if I'm going to have rent next month. So I try to give back in other ways. And this would be one. The only way I know how. And I encourage other people to do the same. Well, we all relate to the songs that we hear, whether or not we've written them. When you hear a song that you love, you have related to it because you wish you had written it. You have a bad day, and you go, man, there's this one song I keep going back to, and you go play that song, and whether or not you're a songwriter, and I won't say if you're just a listener, there's nothing just about being a listener. You are, everybody loves the arts, the music, as Joseph Campbell put it. The music brings us closest to God, whatever your God might be, your universe, your spirit, again, another conversation. But we come close to our own spirit through the music that we embrace. You play that song over and over and over and over again because you relate to it. You don't go, Phil Circle must have really been going through something on that tune because, wow, that's really incredible. No, you hear it and you go, I relate to that song. And you play it over and over and over and over again. And again, for another conversation, the music industry, don't get me started. Except that I'll say, in my humble opinion, what you hear on the radio is crap, most of it. There's talent, but there's a tremendous amount of talent that is not being heard. I have so many friends that deserve to be heard and are not heard because they're not within the formula that the record labels go for, that the radio goes for, that television and movies go for, but that anybody with an ear for music would go for. So after recovering from the hip and all that kind of stuff, I hadn't written anything. It took everything to get through any given day. The pain was ridiculous. And I really wanted to get back to the studio and record. And I was listening one day to a friend of mine this song called Infrared, a guy named Jeff Churchwell. First time I heard the song, I met him in an open mic in Chicago. I was floored at the beauty of the song, and I was listening to it one night in the car coming home from teaching, and I called him right off the bat. I was like, Jeff, I haven't written anything in a year and a half, and I really want to get to the studio. Can I record your song? And he said, of course you could. And then it dawned on me, all these unsung songwriters who write beautiful, beautiful work need to be heard. That's it. They need to be heard. That's all there is to it. And how do I get that out there? Well, by recording. So I, went through all the songs by people that I know and admire, and a couple of, one who I know kind of, another one who I don't know at all. I called Neil Young's manager and publisher, and told him what I was doing, and he's like, that's a great idea, but Neil Young's not unsung. I said, well, but all you hear on mainstream radio is the same 3 songs by Neil Young. What about Harvest Moon on a ukulele? And gave me permission. I thought, well, that'll help, get attention for it and everything. So it's getting the music that is less heard, whether it's by somebody well-known, moderately known, completely unknown, or known regionally. Getting their music out there. And it is, every one of them that I talked to said I'd be honored. And I responded that no, I'm the one who's honored. I get to bring you, through my voice, your music that touched me, to more people. It's my honor to give back, which is the be-all and end-all of the arts. The be-all and